Long before European settlers arrived, the land we now call Canada was home to diverse Indigenous peoples, including the First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. These groups had rich cultures, complex societies, and deep spiritual traditions. They lived off the land and water and formed trade networks across the continent. Major indigenous civilizations included the Iroquois Confederacy in the east and the Haida on the Pacific coast. In 1497, Italian explorer John Cabot, sailing under the English flag, reached the east coast of Canada. In 1534, French explorer Jacques Cartier explored the St. Lawrence River, claiming the land for France and naming it Canada from the Iroquoian word Kanata, meaning village. The French established settlements like Quebec in 1608 and developed the fur trade, often allying with indigenous peoples. France ruled a large area called New France, centered in Quebec and extending to parts of the U.S. Conflict with Britain was frequent. After a long struggle including the 7 Years' War, France surrendered its North American territories. In 1763, the Treaty of Paris gave control of Canada to Britain. Under British rule, the population grew, including loyalists fleeing the American Revolution. Canada was divided into Upper Canada, mostly English-speaking, now Ontario, and Lower Canada, mostly French-speaking, now Quebec. Tensions led to the rebellions of 1837-38, prompting reforms and unification efforts. In 1867, the British North America Act created the Dominion of Canada, initially uniting Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. Canada expanded westward, adding provinces and territories. In 1885, the Canadian Pacific Railway was completed, linking east and west. Settlement increased, but it came at a cost to indigenous peoples who were forced onto reserves and subjected to residential schools aimed at erasing their cultures. Canada played major roles in World War I and World War II, earning international respect. The wars helped forge a Canadian identity and move Canada toward full independence from Britain. In 1931, the Statute of Westminster gave Canada legislative independence. Full constitutional independence came in 1982 with the Canada Act. Post-war Canada became known for peacekeeping, multiculturalism, and universal health care. French-English relations became tense, especially in Quebec. The Quiet Revolution of the 1960s sparked debates on sovereignty, leading to 2 referendums in 1980 and 1995, both of which rejected separation. In 1982, Canada adopted its own constitution and the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, marking full sovereignty. Recent decades have focused on reconciliation with Indigenous peoples, immigration, and Canada's global role. Key dates in Canadian history include 1534, when Jacques Cartier claims Canada for France, 1608, when Quebec City was founded, 1763, when Britain gains control of Canada, 1867, when Confederation occurred and Canada became a dominion, 1931, when Canada gained legislative independence, 1982 with the Canada Act and Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and in 2008 when there was an official apology for residential schools.